Hi everyone! So today we're going to be making pinakbet. According to an article written by Raymond, pinakbet or pakbet is a popular dish in the Philippines which originated in Ilocos region. The word pinakbet is derived from the Ilocos word pinakbet, meaning shrunk or shriveled. Before we begin, I want to remind you to get those aprons on, tie your hair up if you have long hair, roll up those sleeves if you have long sleeves, and listen to your parent or guardian helping you. Also, don't forget to wash your hands before we start. So you will need 1 pack of okra, 1 pack of long beans, 1 small squash, 2 bittermelons, 2 to 3 eggplants, 2 tomatoes, half a pound of chopped pork, 2 to 3 tablespoons of shrimp paste, and 2 onions and 4 garlic cloves. Parents who are watching, washing vegetables with your children is a great way of teaching them the names of vegetables and sparking an interest which will hopefully encourage them to try new foods. Another good way for children to help you in the kitchen or to be more interactive in this recipe is to also help peel the squash with this type of tool. They can just peel away from them. Another one would be snapping peas just on both ends with their own hands. So children, let's review our food groups before we begin cooking. Let's see what our ingredients fall under which category. As you can see in this chart, there are 5 categories. We have dairy, which have milk and cheese in it. We have our vegetables, which have broccoli and carrots in it. We have our fruits, which have banana and blueberries. Then we have our grains, which have bread, cereal, or pasta. Then lastly, we have our protein, which are the meats, beans, and nuts. So let's review our recipe. What do we have in our recipe? So as you can see from the chart I made, a lot of our ingredients are mostly vegetables, and we also have 1 protein, which is our pork. So in our vegetable section, we've got some okra, some long beans, some bittermelon, our eggplant, our tomatoes, our garlic, our onion, and our squash. So now you know, a majority of our recipe are made up of vegetables. So before we begin, I want to recommend that you grab an adult, your mom or dad, to help you with this because you are going to be cooking on the stove. First step is to get your onions and your garlic, chop it up, and you're going to want to kind of fry it until it is a golden brown color with oil in your pan. Then you're going to want to take your tomatoes like so, and you're just going to pour it in the pan so that the tomatoes soften up and the flavors mix together. Once you feel the tomatoes soften, you can just press down on the tomatoes. But if it becomes too hard, my grandmother helped me out, so you can have an adult help you as well. And as you can see, I'm holding the spatula with my thumb and my pointing finger, just kind of grasping it in my palm so that it's easier to press down with my arm and wrist on the tomatoes. You're going to want to press it down on a downward kind of motion. When your tomato is all mushed up like this, you can go ahead and add in your pork. Again, just a reminder, be very careful because the stove is very hot. So you're just going to mix it all together. You're going to be using your hand and eye coordination when you're mixing the ingredients. Once your pork is cooked, you can ask your adult to help you to check it. You're going to plop in 2 to 3 tablespoons of shrimp paste. And you are going to mix it all together once again. If your right hand gets tired like mine, you can use and switch to your left hand. Once that is all mixed, you are going to take your squash and pour it in the pan. Just be careful, it might be a little heavy. Then you are going to mix again. Once it is softened, you're going to want to cover that up for 2 minutes. Once your squash has softened up, again, you can check with your adult, you're going to pour in your long beans. Once you pour it in there, you're going to want to mix it up again. Don't forget to use your wrist and your hand. Work on those fine motor skills and mix your pan. When those soften up, you're then going to cover up again for about 2 more minutes. Then you're going to want to take your bittermelon and just pour it in the pan. You're going to cover it up once again, just so that it properly softens up. Last but not least, you are then going to take your eggplants that are sliced up, and you're going to add it to the pan and give it a good one last mix. In the end, it should look something like this, and you've achieved your pinakbet. Enjoy!